I'm gonna be sick.
I know. Okay, just
so
don't.
What?
Just put your headphones on and listen to something.
Can't.
Okay?
I'm gonna be sick.
Evie, or get work or something. Okay?
I'm gonna be sick.
Evie, don't be sick. Think of the pros and the cons and
I
whatever.
can't think of anything.
Okay, listen.
Mom, everything's moving so quickly.
He's not gonna move quickly.
He threatened to cut off my ankle.
No, they're not gonna cut off your ankle. Don't worry. Okay? As I said, the worst thing's worse. If you have to do this in order to save your foot, then it's not the worst thing possible.
Mom, I've seen people online who got the fusion and then decided to cut it off a couple of years later because it was so much pain.
Okay, don't, Lisa, don't. Don't. Okay, look up all the pros and cons. Okay? Who knows what their circumstances were?
Okay, so there are 3 things you need to know. There was a day in the hospital where my surgeon told me that in order to save my foot, I needed to do a special fusion and I needed to make that decision within 24 hours or so.
And then we have to fuse this ankle. But there's a big issue with fusing the ankle because of the infection. So we can't fuse it the way we normally do. Like when we fuse an ankle, we go in through the front, get rid of all the damaged cartilage, put the bones together, put a plate and screws, and hold it together and let it fuse over 2 to 3 months. If we did that to you, 100% it gets infected, 100%. So we have to do it without putting hardware in, which means we have to do it with something called a frame. Did I talk to you about that before? It's the frame that's outside of the leg. So it's got these big circular bars outside of the leg with small wires that go into the tibia and the foot, and that holds it together. But the problem with that is that we can't even do that until the infection is cleared.
They told me that they can't put any more hardware in my foot because the infection will stick to it and just keep multiplying, so I was told the special fusion was my last resort. In order to do the special fusion, I needed to cut my talus completely out of my ankle, meaning the part that makes my foot move up and down, the part that I'm trying to save and put back together, that would need to be completely removed so they can make a clean cut to fit an antibiotic spacer and to prepare me for the fusion.
To help get this to clear, this infection, I think we need to put something called an antibiotic spacer inside the ankle.
If she's gonna go for fusion, then it's gotta be extended.
I can't. This is everything I'm against.
I know.
Like
But
everything
we're out
I've
of
been
options.
fighting for.
We're gonna repeat your blood work today, and then I gotta talk to the company to see when we can get this frame in.
No, I can't make a
I
decision
know.
this fast.
You don't worry. You just think about it.
Doing this would be irreversible, and I didn't want to do something that was irreversible to my ankle. So we came to an agreement that I would get a few second opinions and then I could come to a decision about my ankle. We started with a doctor in Greece, and I had 2 hours to send him an email with everything attached. The right email? Okay, here we go. I sent it.
Okay, good. Now message
20
her.
seconds.
Tell her that you sent it.
Holy shit. I don't know why I always felt weird about getting a second opinion. I feel like, to me, it sends the message that I don't really trust the judgment of my surgeon. And of course, I don't want him to feel that I don't trust him. But everyone, literally everyone, has told me that I need to get a second opinion. And I had to put my feelings aside and do that for myself because I need the best possible outcome. And I need to make sure that I can handle emotionally whatever is to come. So I was transparent about the fact that I was gonna get some second opinions, and you know what? He was actually welcoming of that. Anything that I needed to do to get my mind to where it needs to be was encouraged. However, I do think he thinks that there's only really one option, and the intent of these second opinions is to sort of prove that wrong. The third thing you need to know is that when I left the hospital, I was still completing a second round of IV antibiotics. Guess what's back? This fucking bag. And you know what's in the bag? This fucking pump and this fucking... He's injecting me. I'm all good. I'm not weight bearing.
Hey!
Shut up.
Because like this was all swelly.
I know.
Having issues.
I know. Guys, I have never thrown up so much in my life. This cloxacillin is working, but it's potent. On my 26th birthday, I got the 23-inch tube taken out of my arm. 2, 3.
All right, you're just gonna apply pressure. Good, you did well.
Before I tell you what happened after that, let's backtrack 10 days before my birthday to March 6, 2020. All right, so it is March 6th, Friday, March 6th, 2020. Just went to the fracture clinic. He says my ankle is looking great. I'm on an antibiotic holiday right now because my antibiotics are done today, and then I don't have an appointment until my birthday. Yeah, staying off my ankle, praying that my ankle is healthy and infection-free. March 6th was the day I was done my IV antibiotics. My infectious disease appointment wasn't until my birthday, March 16th, so I thought I was just supposed to wait until then. A drug holiday is when you stop the antibiotics, the drug, for a period of time to see if the infection comes back. We thought that made perfect sense, so we went home and waited 10 days. When I got to see my infectious disease doctor on my birthday, she told me that I was never supposed to be on a drug holiday. However, she took a look at my foot and was shocked at how good it looked for not being on any antibiotics for the last 10 days. She said that because I had accidentally been off antibiotics for the last 10 days and my foot and ankle were not swollen, red, or hot, there was probably a good chance that the infection was clear. Folks, everything happens for a reason. After the IV antibiotics, I was put on oral antibiotics. I had to take 1 pill 4 times a day for 6 weeks. After I was done the 6 weeks, I was supposed to make an appointment with my surgeon to talk about my ankle. But I don't need to tell you there's a pandemic going on right now. And I can't make an appointment because the hospital turned into a COVID-19 hub, and 2, the oral antibiotics were actually just used as a precaution. The ID doctor was pretty certain that the infection was gone, and to be honest, my foot still looks like it did that day on my birthday. Oh, also, we followed up with the Greek doctor a while back, and he requested I do 3 specific tests. 2 of them were blood work tests, and I got those done, and the third was a specific scan. It required a radiologist put a small amount of radioactive gallium inside me, scan my entire body 1 hour later, and then come back 2 days later and scan it again. Hello! Today I'm going for a bone gallium scan, which was requested by a doctor that I'm getting a second opinion from.
State of this machine.
8:30 a.m. here for my second scan for the nuclear bone gallium test. Unfortunately, they booked the wrong test. And now that everyone's focus is on the pandemic, rightfully so, I can't book the test that I actually need to get. Prior to the pandemic, I also had a nerve test conducted. This was the doctor that told me that I probably had unrealistic expectations for the outcome of my ankle. Now, I did have some nerve damage. I had nerve damage on my right ankle, which is the ankle that's been operated on 10 times. And I had nerve damage on the top of my feet, which I don't see particularly as a problem because this is not new nerve damage. I had this for years now, and I had a successful surgery that ended up in me walking again. So while the nerve damage probably makes my healing time a little longer, it didn't stop my ankle from healing completely. And that brings us to today. I am in quarantine with my brother and my boyfriend, and all I can do is sit and wait for the pandemic to wane before we can really do anything.